I've had a disappointing year with livestock. Hey, stay tuned and I'll tell you what's going on. Hey, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. I have a disappointing year with my livestock, and what I mean by when I say that is I've had no luck. Well, actually, it's not my fault. It's their fault. The geese, the ducks, the chickens, the turkeys, they're just not setting on their eggs and protecting their eggs. But there is a problem. With the hen house, there's some kind of critter getting inside. Now, one night I came out and fed the chickens, and there was a skunk in there eating eggs. So I've got to collect eggs daily, and I've got to go ahead and purchase a trap to trap that skunk and take it far, far away and relocate that stinker. So it's not giving the chickens a chance to be able to get broody, set on the eggs, and hatch some eggs for some chicks. And same way with the turkeys. I think the problem with the turkeys is there's a rat that's getting in there and eating her eggs as she lays them. Now, the eggs should be viable by now. This is June, and the veterinarian said he's old enough to be able to fertilize the eggs. So, yeah. We're going to have to get a live trap to trap these creatures and relocate them. And that duck had laid some eggs in there, and she was quite successful until one day I went out there and realized there's no eggs left under her. So I think that rat took one egg at a time out from under her and got the eggs, so she has no more eggs. So I went ahead and turned her loose, and so she's back on the pond. So no ducklings this year. Now that's a big disappointment. Now, as far as the geese go, they've been diligently setting on their eggs, but nothing's hatched. So I think all the eggs are dead and rotten. And just now, as I was filming this program, I noticed something found the eggs and has been eating them. So we got no goose eggs, except for I do have one goose sitting on a nest. And I don't know if she's going to protect that nest, but the other two nests, no goslings. Another big disappointment. Now this goose over here has one egg left. I don't think it's viable because it's been sitting there for way too long. And these things should be hatching in about 36 days, but it's been way too long. However, this goose right here, now she is sitting on a clutch of eggs, and whatever creature found the other rotten eggs hasn't found her yet. And this is Gabby. She's my oldest goose that I have. The rest of them are a lot younger than Gabby. So hopefully I'll get some goslings out of it. But I'm not counting my geese until they're hatched. Now the other livestock I do have on my farm is Hamlet. He is, I raised him from a baby, and I'm going to raise him out, probably another 4 months, and then we'll go ahead and send him to freezer camp. His dad is right now Hamilton. Hey, that's that hog I let the 5th grade class adopt for the year and feed. And they learned about heritage breed hogs. Check out that video when I went to visit that 5th grade class. I went back to school and I was able to share a lot of information on these hogs. But he is in the process right now of going to freezer camp, and we're getting him cured and smoked and what have you. He weighed out at 210 pounds. He's a big boy for a guinea hog. Now, if you're wondering about the rabbits, well, the reason why I haven't showed rabbits lately is because we don't have any more rabbits. Not for now. Later I will be acquiring another couple of pair, and we'll start into them again, but I'm going to focus on getting this thing redone and some new innovations that I was thinking about and improvements done to the bunny bungalow, so stay tuned for those videos. I do want to point out that the Quack Shack has become the turkey house, and they have this aviary to romp and frolic at and get outside of the house and be able to cool down, especially when the sun's up and it's hot. But they have shade out here, they have plenty of water, and they have plenty of room to run around, and they're safe. Predators can't get to them except for whatever rat that is that's finding a way in and eating their eggs. I gotta find a way around that. So as far as the livestock goes, I'm not going to have any livestock to sell this year to gain some revenue for the feed, to offset the feed bill. So I'm going to have to come up with some other ideas this year for that, help offset the feed bill, because the livestock just ain't doing it. So what my plans are is to invest in a decent incubator. That other one I was working on, something else went wrong with it, so I'm just going to go ahead and give up on that and buy a brand new one, and we're going to go ahead and start all over again and try to be as successful as possible with hatching eggs and trying to grow out my livestock, especially with turkey eggs. The turkeys aren't too good about hatching their own eggs, so, and I can get a lot of money for those Naragansette turkeys. They sell, once I grow them out at Thanksgiving time, they sell for upwards of $100 a bird. That's profit. Now finally, my bees, the other livestock. Yep, bees are classified as a livestock. They are doing great. I had to expand the hive, and I'm going to get ready to split them and create 2 hives. I just have to drive down to Orland, California, and purchase another Saskatchewan's queen that's already been fertilized, so she can be set up in the red hive down on the end. While I'm down there, I'm going to try to buy 2 more colonies. I think I can come up with enough money and fill all my beehives this year. This is the middle of June, and my blackberries are finally bloomed, and that is a good sign for bees. Bees will cultivate the blackberries, and that's a sign for a beekeeper to put the honey supers, that's the more shallower ones, on top of the hives. But this year I'm not going to do honey. I want the bees to grow out. Next year I'll do honey, but I'll still get blackberries to make some blackberry syrup, cordial, blackberry jam, blackberry preserves, blackberry jelly, blackberry pie, yeah, blackberry cobbler, yeah, blackberries, lots of them. And while I have your attention, I'm going to show you what's been happening in the garden and what else I've done in the garden that I didn't film. So I'll just show you. The flowers I planted on the ends are growing. The tomato plants I started from seed inside the greenhouse is growing. I planted some radishes. They look like they're about ready to harvest, and it's time to plant more radishes. And I also have a bunch of cabbage that I just separated. And I'm going to have to get some more soil, lay it in these other raised beds so I can thin them out even more. I have some Brussels sprouts and broccoli and cauliflower that I have growing. I need to move out here as well. And I did plant some peas. The peas are growing up and I'll be training them over this trellis. And I did bring in some soil in these other raised beds at the ends, and I'm going to go down tomorrow and get another one of these screens, and I planted a bunch of cucumbers in those because I want lots of cucumbers, because I want to lay up and store enough pickles to last me and my family all year. I did not can enough pickles, and I've got my pickles I'm sending to the fair, and I actually got to turn them in this Friday at the fair, and we'll see how well they do with the judges. They're a zesty dill pickle. Hey, check out that video with the canning dill pickles for the fair. And speaking of that 5th grade class that adopted my pig for the year, they grew a bunch of plants. They grew for me a whole flat of Spanish lavender, and lavender's like ever-bearing, so I'm going to be planting those in my raised beds around my yard, and that'll create a food source for the bees throughout the year. So this is a win-win. Plus I've got my other spices. I'm going to be making a little spice garden in my yard also. So a lot of plans going on, lots of plans, and a lot of things growing in my garden. Hey, and my corn is already knee-high and it isn't July yet. Now I've also been planting a lot of flowers around my yard because I want to make sure my bees do have a nice variety to eat from. I don't like so much the idea of a polycrop, and that's what bees get when they get set in these big orchards and they have nothing but one item to eat, like whatever vegetable or fruit they're pollinating. I want my bees to have a variety of things. That way they have a nice balanced diet and they can eat a variety of what they need. Well, that's it. The happenings and goings on and the failures of the livestock here on the homestead. And life ain't perfect. Homestead life ain't perfect. Sometimes it's a struggle. Hey, I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. Please stay tuned for more videos. You can do that by doing a couple of things. Number 1 is subscribe if you haven't already. Number 2 is clicking that bell icon. That alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Now you can help my video channel by doing a couple of things. Number 1 is giving me a thumbs up. Number 2 is leaving a comment or question. And number 3 is important, clicking that share button and sharing my videos on social media on other media platforms helps advertise my channel to other platforms for other viewers to be able to see what we're doing here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. And you can also follow us on social media. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Reddit, Google+, Blogger, not Google+, it's gone now. Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr, and LinkedIn. And but Facebook, you can follow me on, just go to Jerry Hansen on Facebook. I'm not on Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. We'll see you guys in more videos. Bye-bye.